My brother has been a bad seed ever since we've been kids, and I'm gonna really go into depth on him in future vlogs. But right now, just understand he's a dirtbag. He's always been a dirtbag. I'm not saying that just because me and him had a little bit of an argument. The guy has screwed me over so many times it isn't even funny. Yeah guys, a lot has happened. A lot has happened over the last 2 months and we need to get into it. It's been a trip, it's been a ride, let me tell you. It's actually, you know it hasn't. Nothing has gone right. Everything's gone wrong. It's my fault because I knew this was gonna happen before it actually happened, but I chose to ignore the red flags. I chose to ignore the signs. But, you know, sometimes you just gotta get kicked in the nuts in order to maybe learn a lesson, maybe. I don't know if I'll be able to learn a lesson because I'm too thick-headed most of the time. But at some point, I will learn my lesson and I will stop trusting the wrong people. I will stop doing things that I know are probably not gonna work out well. If you guys watch my other channel, which I'm assuming most of you do, you guys know I'm down here in Fort Walton Beach. If you don't watch my channel, I'm down in Fort Walton Beach. I meant to vlog the whole process and I'm so ticked off at myself right now because I wanted to keep up on this vlog. Ever since I left Denver, I wanted to keep up on this vlog. I wanted to consistently post videos on this channel and I have dropped the ball and I am so mad at myself. Right now, consistency is king and I need to be more consistent on this channel, especially considering the fact that there's so many things I want to do and that I want to vlog, and if I'm not going to vlog because I'm not consistent at it, all that stuff is kind of pointless. The beach doesn't look super crowded today. That's pretty cool. I generally go like way over there, you know, kind of away from people a little bit. Most people are lazy. They don't want to walk more than 20 feet either direction. But me, I'll walk like 200 feet over there just not to be around people. It's nice, it's peaceful, it's quiet, you can sleep. The only thing that makes sleeping hard on the beach are two things. Either weather or that ball in the sky up there. Especially considering it's over 90 degrees today, it's gonna be very, very difficult to sleep. But we got to, man, I have no other choice. Yes, I'm still homeless. A lot of you know this from my other channel, but yeah, I'm still living homeless. It's not easy here in Fort Walton Beach, let me tell you something. You see, there's no development as far as the eye can see, and I love that. I remember beaches being like that in the early 80s when I was a kid. beaches as far as the eye can see. And now when you go to most beaches, they're all full of condos like that one right there. Just constant. There is no empty beach anywhere else in the country, it seems like. Well, the reason why this is empty is not because environmentalists said, hey, we want to protect this area. It's because this is all owned by Eglin Air Force Base. Eglin Air Force Base owns all the land all around Fort Walton Beach. And I've heard people say they actually own Fort Walton Beach in itself. So I'm not quite sure if that's true or not, but if they do, it would make a lot of sense. There are lots of cops that constantly patrol this area. There's beach patrols and everything that are constantly going up and down the beaches. Now during the day, they can't do a damn thing to you. You want to set up a sunshade, you want to sleep on the beach, there's nothing they can say about it. But if you want to do that at night, or you want to try to camp on the beach, that is strictly forbidden. You can't do that. Needless to say, guys, being homeless here in Fort Walton Beach has been one of the toughest things I've done in my entire life. There's nowhere, and I mean nowhere, to camp where you're not going to get hassled or somebody's going to bother you. You know, up in the town area where my storage unit is, yeah, there's tons of people always walking the streets all the time. So a lot of times what happens is, like, I'll find a nice little area behind a bush, and I'll set up my pop-up tent and I'll go to sleep, and then next thing you know, I'm getting woke up by a homeless crack addict running around, flailing their arms around, screaming at the top of their lungs. And then I wake up in the middle of the night, and of course now I'm startled. Now I got to move locations, and then it's hard to get back to sleep from there because you're all on edge, you know what I mean? So I don't know how many times during the nighttime that happened. It happens so many times. Also, you'll go behind a building or go behind a business. It's real dark back there. It's real secluded. You'll set up your tent. You'll go to sleep, and police will pull up on you in the middle of the night and tell you, you need to move, you need to leave, or you're going to get charged with trespassing or something like that. I've had that happen a few times. Police know where all the homeless people try to sleep, so they go and they, you know, patrol around buildings, they patrol in parking lots, they patrol all around. They use spotlights. Let's just say it makes it very, 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 very difficult to stealth camp here in Fort Walton Beach. You see, I never wanted to come to Fort Walton Beach at all. This is not a place I chose to come to. I only came here because of my brother. And we'll talk about him here in a little bit, because I know Fort Walton Beach is a resort town. So is Destin, so is Panama City. All these cities along the Gulf Coast are all resort towns. More importantly, they're resort towns that a lot of old people come to. There are also a lot of families come to Fort Walton Beach. They come to Destin. That's a kind of a family-friendly beach, unlike some of the spring break places on the East Coast and the West Coast for that matter. So what they do is they patrol heavily, because they want to keep homeless vagrants like myself away from the tourists. That's the mission, and they do a very, very good job of it. So the key is to look like a tourist, and that's why I got the setup I do. I look like a tourist and nobody really bothers me. I go out on the beach, I lounge, I have a couple of hours of sleep, which is about all I get anymore these days. And at least, yeah, it's something. It's better than nothing. At night, like I said, it was really, really difficult to stealth camp here at Fort Walton Beach. It was really, really tough. During the day, it's damn near impossible. The only place I've found where I could at least get a couple hours of sleep is on the beach. That's the only place. Every place else, I'm gonna get discovered. If I try to sleep in a park, police will roll up on you at some point, because some Karen will complain and police will roll up on you. If you try to go behind a building, the building's owners will see you. So that's not a possibility. If you try to go behind a bush, somebody's gonna see you. You think there's a lot of homeless people walking around at night? There's just as many, if not more, during the day. So it's just very difficult. It's really impossible. The mission right now for me is to get out of Fort Walton Beach. This is not a place I can stay at. Why did I come here in the first place? Well, we'll get into that in a minute. I'm gonna unload the bike. We're gonna get our camping set up, and then we'll talk about why I came here in the first place, because I know a lot of you want to kick me in the balls like, Brian, what are you thinking, man? Why did you come to a place like this? Well, there's a very, 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 I wouldn't say good reason, but there's a reason why I came here. It looks like it may storm. That sucks. So I think what we need to do is I'm gonna go across the street to the gas station, get something to drink, and then come back here and wait in the pavilion for the storm to pass, and hopefully it passes and we can get under the beach shade that I got sitting over there, and we can get some sleep. She's running down the beach going, lightning, lightning. I don't see any lightning. But yeah, this is the struggles, man. This is what I have to do to get sleep in this place. Oh, so tired. Yeah, it's pretty isolated. There's some storms off in the horizon. Over here it looks clear. Here's the setup, guys. Yeah, it's a beach tent. I got this tent off Amazon. It's a beach tent. It's a pop-up tent, a quick deploy tent. I have this thing up in literally 2 seconds. And it's small enough that I can actually put it on the bike. It's really cool. And it shades. That's the main thing. It shades so that I can stay out of the sun as much as possible, even though my legs are still sticking out. It's not good, but yeah, it'll work. It's actually fairly nice in here. You can't beat that view though, man. It's really, really, really nice as long as people leave you alone, and for the most part, people leave you alone. I don't think I had anybody ever mess with me when I'm sleeping out here, even when I oversleep and it's nighttime. I'm gonna get some sleep though, but before I do, I wanted to talk a little bit about my brother. My brother has been a bad seed ever since we've been kids, and I'm gonna really go into depth on him in future vlogs, but right now, just understand he's a dirtbag. He's always been a dirtbag. I'm not saying that just because me and him had a little bit of an argument. The guy has screwed me over so many times it isn't even funny. If you guys want to know, I'll talk more about it in other videos, but he was living in Idaho. He only moved out to Idaho because he wanted to live near the mountains, because I live near the mountains, and he's always trying to one-up me. I live near the mountains, he wanted to live in the mountains, so it was like one of those things. I came back here to the beach, all of a sudden he wants to move back here to the beach. I wanted to move to Jacksonville. As a lot of you guys know, in the last vlog I talked about I was going to stay up in Indiana until the end of the summer, and then after the summer was over I was going to move to Jacksonville, set up shop there, unless I was able to generate the money I need for a long-term bicycle tour. But backup plan, I was going to go to Jacksonville, set up shop, get a job, and then maybe tour the Florida coast. That was my backup plan. So my brother decides he wants to move. Now my brother's always been an alcoholic. He's had 12 DUIs, which is driving under the influence of alcohol. He has been arrested several times for petty theft and things like that. Like I said, he is an all-around dirtbag, and he has a family. That's the sad thing. His family can't really stand him right now. His wife left him. His wife took the kids, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So he decided he wanted to move from Idaho. Now, all of a sudden he moves from place to place. Like he moved from South Carolina to Idaho, and now Idaho to Florida. And he didn't really have a plan, but he told me he had a plan. One thing about my brother, he's a pathological liar. If he told you the sky is blue, you better look up and check before you believe him. That's how bad of a liar he is. He told me he got a job at a dealership in Jacksonville first, because Jacksonville is where I wanted to go. Now, I couldn't pass up the chance of getting a free ride, but I didn't believe anything he said. So when he was toying around with the decision, I thought he was just doing it to annoy me. But then all of a sudden, he's on his way down. If he tells you he's coming down, I don't believe him. But when he's on his way and he's FaceTiming me from the interstate, okay, now I believe you, okay? Now I got 2 days to kind of get my affairs in order in Indiana. So I had to get my storage unit packed up. I had to rent a U-Haul trailer because he was bringing his Suburban. We were going to attach the trailer to the Suburban, and he was going to pull me to Jacksonville. I was going to get a storage unit there and obviously start my life in Jacksonville. It didn't work out that way. My brother showed up drunk. I don't know how he made it from Idaho all the way to Indiana drunk. I mean, he pissed himself. He smelled awful. He was like, his eyes were like swollen shut, and he was like, I don't see how he didn't get pulled over. I just really don't. The ride down here was miserable. His car stunk so bad. I mean, I was gagging. I had to keep the window down the whole time to even stand it. It was that bad. He didn't help out with my stuff. I had to load everything up because he was passed out drunk the whole time. I drove the truck all the way down to Florida. Now, before we get to Florida, he drops a bombshell on me. He tells me that we're no longer going to Jacksonville, we're going to Fort Walton Beach because he got a job in Fort Walton Beach. I said, I didn't want to move to Fort Walton Beach. I wanted to go to Jacksonville. So my brother and me got into a big fight over that. And then he told me, look, you know, I'm just going to go to the dealership that he got hired on because we were automotive technicians, okay? He can get a job at any General Motors dealership because he's a General Motors world-class technician. That was the same for me when I worked for BMW or I worked for Nissan and Infiniti. I could go and work anywhere. You know, it wasn't a big deal because I was a master Infiniti and master Nissan technician. If I called a dealership up wherever and said, hey, I'm moving to your area, I would like a job, they would more than likely give you a job because you're of a high certification level and they don't get that coming in the door every day. So my brother got a job and he said that they were going to pay his living expenses. They were going to pay his moving expenses. So I was like, yeah, right. Dealerships don't do that, by the way. They don't do it very often, let's just say that. And I wasn't believing him on that, but you know, I chose to go with my brother down to Florida because it was a free ride. I knew I would be going anyway, and if I had to buy a U-Haul myself and rent one, it was going to be $1,200 to $1,400. This way, I really only had to pay $300, so economically it worked out, even though I had to suffer smelling my brother and dealing with his drunkenness all the way down here. We got down here, and of course, like after he dropped that bombshell on me, me and him got into this big argument, and he said, look, I'll take you the rest of the way. Just let me, you know, get set up at the dealership, start working for a couple days, just hang out for a couple days here in Fort Walton Beach, and then I will take you the rest of the way to, you know, Jacksonville. So that's what he told me. He would take me the rest of the way to Jacksonville. It was tough because as soon as he gave me the directions to the dealership, I found out he didn't get a job in Fort Walton Beach. He got a job in Crestview. Crestview is like 30 miles north of Fort Walton Beach. I wasn't happy with that because now, you know, me and my brother couldn't share a hotel or we couldn't share a place to stay because I'm not staying up in Crestview. I came here to be by the beach. 30 miles isn't really that far when it comes down to it, but it's just a dangerous road to ride on down here to Fort Walton Beach. And I was not gonna be able to do that every day. So, yeah, I decided, yeah, I'm just gonna go and stay down in Fort Walton Beach. And of course I had to be homeless and I had all the trouble that I talked about earlier. And my brother was living in his car. A lot of people said, why don't you go stay with your brother? Well, because he didn't have a place. Apparently he lied about the dealership supplying him with a place to live and paying his living expenses, paying his moving expenses, all that stuff. His wife found out that he lied. And then of course she's not happy. My brother, being the degenerate that he is, came down here spending money like crazy, trying to go to clubs and pick up chicks, and he went to a strip club a couple of times. I mean, just a dirtbag. He's got a wife and kids at home, right? Just a complete dirtbag. He paid for the strip club on his own family bank card. So his wife found out about it and she's not happy. And of course my brother is just drinking heavily during this whole time. And I'm thinking, how the heck are you not getting pulled over? Because it's just a matter of time with all the police that are in this area. So he doesn't get pulled over, but he gets really drunk because I guess, so what happened was he told me that he had lost his job because he got into an argument with somebody, which didn't make any sense. And with my brother, if he doesn't make any sense, it generally means he's lying. So I didn't hear from him for a couple of days, and I called up to the dealership to find out what was going on, and I found out that he got fired for drinking on the job. This Nimrod goes he goes on a test drive in somebody's car, goes to the gas station, buys beer, brings it back to the dealership to drink it. And they caught him and they fired him for it. So I guess his wife found out about that and she decides, I've had enough with him. I've had enough. You know, it's been a big fiasco with them apparently, and their marriage was teetering on, you know, it was hanging by a thread as it was. And then this was the final straw that broke the camel's back. She left all of their possessions, literally left all of their possessions in Idaho and went to go stay with her dad. And then of course my brother went off the deep end and he started drinking even more. There's the beach patrol. They gotta come and be nosy. See, I'm the only one in this area. They gotta come and see what I'm doing, basically. I don't know, you know. Sometimes they bother you, sometimes they don't. But anyway, yeah, so she found out that he had lost his job because he was drinking. I found out because I called the dealership. So my brother goes off the deep end. He's upset because she left, and she left all of their possessions. I mean, he lost everything. She flew to Kentucky to stay with her dad and left all their stuff, their home, everything, just completely left everything. And then he decides he's going to go back up to Kentucky to deal with this situation, I guess, because his wife blocked him, wouldn't even talk to him. So he was crying his eyeballs out like a little baby, like, I'm like, it was a mess. Watching a grown man weep and cry like a baby over something that he caused himself. And so he leaves. He didn't even tell me he's going. He just takes off and leaves. I never got my promised ride to get to Jacksonville, so he just left me down here. I'm running out of money quick. He left me down here. He goes back up towards Kentucky, wrecks his car in, I think, just out of Nashville in Franklin County. So he wrecks his car, gets thrown into jail. Apparently he's got warrants out, several driving while drunk charges in South Carolina, one in Wyoming, one in Idaho. He's got a pending theft charge in Idaho. He's got several in Florida. He's got one in Florida. I don't even know how he got that one. Yeah, so that's where he's at right now. He's in jail. And it kind of sucks for me because I just got stuck down here. So I had to get a job. Of course, I started applying for jobs as soon as I got here just to be on the safe side. I finally got this job, and it's third shift. And third shift is, you know, it's tough. Like I said earlier, it's like trying to camp during the night is hard enough as it is. Trying to camp during the day is damn near impossible. So yeah, it's been rough. It has been. But I'm working through it. I'm saving some money, and as soon as I get some money put aside, I am heading to Jacksonville. Or I'm gonna go out and bicycle tour, because I'm gonna try to build up my Patreon in that same period of time, and hopefully my Patreon will get built up to where I can go out and bicycle tour, and I'm gonna go on tour, and then I'm gonna do a tour of the United States on the Brahmy, then I'm gonna go do a tour of Europe on the Brahmy. So that's what I would like to do, and we'll see if we can make that happen. I got to get out of Fort Walton Beach. I have to get out of here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I have to get out of here. I cannot stay here. That is my #1 mission right at the moment. Everything else is kind of secondary. Now, I'm planning on staying until the end of summer here in Fort Walton Beach, but I don't know how much longer I'm going to last with this sleep. I'm not getting any sleep at all, guys. It's just been like, ugh. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to last, but I'm going to last as long as I can. And then as soon as we're done, I'm gonna assess the situation. We'll see if I have enough money to go out on bicycle tour or not. If I don't, then I'm gonna move to Jacksonville. We'll probably go to Jacksonville anyway to store my stuff. That way we have some place to come back to after the tour. But that's the plan. I'm going to be moving to Jacksonville, and I'm hoping to be able to go on tour. Yeah, we'll talk about a lot of this other stuff, a lot of family stuff. You know, a lot of people asked about the dynamic between me and my ex-wife. A lot of people have asked about different things. I'll tell you more about my brother. I'll tell you more about all the craziness that goes on in my life. But this video is already monstrously long as it is. So if you guys have any comments, questions, leave it in the comment and question section. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here because I got to get some sleep. And by the time I get up, it's probably going to be dark. And on top of that, I'm going to be rushing to get everything packed up and get out of here. So I'm going to end the video here. If you guys have any comments, questions, leave it down in the comment and question section. Links to my Patreon and my Buy Me a Coffee are down in the description below. If you guys want to support the channels, that's this channel and my other channel, iBike Unfolded. Feel free to donate if you feel inclined to do so. If not, that's perfectly okay too, guys. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate it. I'm going to be working to try to get this vlog an everyday thing. Like I said earlier, I need to put a lot of stuff out there, and I've got a lot of knowledge to share and lots of thoughts. So I'm going to be posting daily on this channel, and that's come hell or high water. It might take me a couple of weeks to get into the rhythm, but ultimately that's the goal for this channel. So all right, I'm going to bed. I am tired, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.